Peace, 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 peace. Welcome to another episode of the Parry where we don't pull or duck no punches. And the parry is fundamental to boxing. I am your host, Bomani UFG.
I am the pragmatic Che Blidak.
And welcome everybody, all our friends, supporters, boxing fans, and pundits. We got a very heatedly debated topic for today's show, man. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah. But before we get to it, I just want to remind everybody to do me a favor. Go right ahead and jab that like button, lead hook that share button, uppercut that subscribe button, drop the comment on his back pockets, you know what I'm saying, in the comment section, and hit the notification bell, man, so you can stay updated when we drop new content. This is the Parry. Once again, where we don't pull or duck no punches. For everybody that's checking in with us, man, I appreciate y'all. You know, drop us a little comment in the chat. Let us know you rocking with us right now. You know what I mean? Shay Black, man, what's good with you, brother? It's been a minute.
Same fight, different round, man. We still here, man. That's what counts. But yeah, it's been a minute. We getting some things in order. But we still here. We still back. We still, 10 toes down, holding it down in this boxing news.
You know what it is. You know what it is. For those who didn't check out our last video, Mexico versus Puerto Rico, right, boxing greatest rivalry. Please check that out, man. It's a dope video. You know what I'm saying? Where we kind of highlight key fights and moments in the history of that rivalry and really how it got started. You know what I'm saying? And
is that boxing's biggest rivalry? That might be a debate one day. That might be debate.
I don't think it's debatable, man. Like who else would like? I'm talking about nationalistic rivalry for sure. Nah.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I guess national. I guess the pride, the right, that comes into the ring. Yeah, I guess we could say Puerto Rico and in Mexico. I guess we could say that. Definitely Mexico. Mexico is definitely one of them. If it's gonna be any nations, Mexico, because it's like when it comes to boxing, to me, they're everybody's rivals. Mexico is like, Black Americans, you know what I mean? White Americans, Puerto Ricans, Filipinos, everybody rivalry is Mexican. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to those great boxing rivalries, it's always somebody and a Mexican. But yeah, I guess pride-wise, tribal-wise, even though technically Puerto Rico is America, so I guess that would be, America.
Nah, man, come on, we ain't
but
getting
nah,
that, man.
I'm joking.
You know what I mean? Shout out to my Boricuas. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
In all honesty, man, probably Mexico versus any other Latino or Latin American country.
Absolutely,
you know
absolutely. Because I was thinking Cuba.
It's crazy.
I was thinking Cuba. And really, I wasn't even thinking Cuba, Mexico. I was thinking Cuba, Puerto Rico. That's a huge rivalry right there. It hasn't got, but we haven't gotten to see a lot of it play out in the boxing ring until more recent years, due to the fact that a lot of the Cubans weren't even going pro. And the ones that were with a team Freedom Cubans until about 20 years ago,
right,
when we started seeing actual Cubans turning professional.
Yo, peace to the guard, Rakeem Shabazz. You seen him on our channel a few times. You know what I'm saying? Why don't
you gotta be back? We gotta get him back.
Yeah, definitely got to get him back on here, man. I may throw the link in the chat.
Peace on,
I'm gonna throw the link
because he might gotta hop in. He might have to turn this into a Royal Rumble.
Yeah, this might have to be a little. You know what I mean?
We might have to turn this joint into a Royal Rumble, man.
Yo, peace to the guard, man. If you want to go ahead and
man,
join us in this discussion. Yo, matter of fact, it'll be cool. Like anybody that's watching, if you got a take or you got some feedback to the main topic, but we're going to get to, you know what I'm saying? We're going to get to that. But if you got some feedback or an opinion that you feel
don't come on here playing yourself. Yeah, like boxing and you just want to jump in because you rock with the brothers. Don't play yourself.
Today's one of the rare days where you get this is a free invite. If you in the chat and you want to get on and give your opinion, you know what I'm saying, over to one side or the other, because this is about to be a heated debate. I ain't gonna lie to you. Me and Che were just talking about the topic the other day. And it turned almost into like almost got disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like we borderline almost curse each other out, man. Going back and forth on this topic, man. You know what I mean? Like if we was in the same room, you know what I mean? Who knows what would have happened, man? Parry might have been, might have turned into a sparring match. You know what I'm saying? It got heated, and we were just discussing the topic. You know what I mean? So
that's a fact too. That's the funny part
so
about it. That's a fact.
it's definitely gonna be some fireworks tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But before we get to that, man, let's go ahead and hold on. Let me set it off. And our first topic is Crawford versus Fundora. Is that next?
It looks like it. It looks like it.
Well, the WBO ordered, like after his victory over Madrimov, I believe. And you know, we're a little late on this topic, but the WBO ordered them to start negotiating within 30 days, which probably led us into September sometime, right? And then after that, it's supposed to go to purse bid. Now I know it's been rumored that Fundora is supposed to be fighting Errol Spence. You know, he tried to jump the line. You know what I'm saying, and get that title shot against Fundora, I guess, because he want that rematch against Crawford.
Of course.
But you know, I think it's only right that Crawford, you know what I'm saying, that he gets that shot first, and it's showing to me like if this is an actual fact, if this is an actual fact that this fight is being negotiated or maybe go to purse bid or what have you, I think it's quite telling that there's been a shift in the balance of power when it comes to boxing, because you know Al Heyman kind of had and PBC kind of had things on lock for a minute, and they was locking out Terrence Crawford and prevent him from crossing to the other side of the street, as they say, and prevent him from getting some of the big fights without having to go through PBC, right? So, you know, when Errol Spence jumped in the ring to try to get his fight with Fundora after he beat Tim Tszyu, and then it started being rumored like that was the fight that they was pursuing, that was the direction they was going. It seemed like, well, this is another power move, Al Heyman, PBC jumping the line and keeping Terrence Crawford locked out. But now it seemed like Errol Spence gonna have to wait, which I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at that. I feel like Bud paid his dues, and you know, disrespect to the truth, to the big fish. Man, you got filleted and fried.
You know what I'm saying? Absolutely.
So wait your turn.
Sauteed. The boy got sauteed, man. Filleted,
beer battered, man.
Laid out. You know what I'm saying? For real, man.
He got beer battered, man, and served with some chips. You know what I'm saying? Fish and chips.
Put that boy on the menu.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to my man Crawford, man. You know, I knew you had it in you. A lot of people was doubting you. You know, I remember the Javante Davis line about the glass guard and the steel guard, and that's all right. But anyway, go ahead, continue, brother.
Yeah, man. So you know, whoever's in the chat, man, put you know, drop your opinion, man. Let us know how you feel about this fight and possibly Errol Spence being muscled out the way. So you know, so Terrence Crawford go ahead and unify this division, which I don't think is really his main objective at this point in his career. I don't really think he cares about
unify. But I
don't. It seemed like he's, you know, he said he's looking for greatness and he's chasing greatness and he wants to put a stamp on that. This is the Terrence Crawford era, and I think he's looking to fight Canelo for real. That's what I think is mainly on his objective. I think Fundora is just something to do. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like
oh, you breaking up, brother. You chipping up a little bit. Just a little bit. Say something.
How about now?
Yeah, you straight.
Something.
Yeah, you good.
Okay. We're talking about Fundora and Crawford and Spence. First of all, I think it's great that you know Crawford is fighting Fundora as opposed to letting Spence jump in line like that. Although that would be the way to do it if Spence is gonna get another shot, beating the Fundora and being putting yourself in a mandatory position to get that fight, and even just holding hardware in that division as another champion in the division with him. So that's the way to go about doing it. Um, as far as for Crawford chasing greatness, I do think that this becomes another accolade, another accomplishment for the record books when it's this is history. Like he is actually making history if he wins this fight. So it's not like it's not a waste of time, and it's a fight that actually would go directly in line with him chasing greatness, because this, in the long run, this will be on his resume, and this is, he's breaking, records. He's creating, like, this is history right here. Like, we have to actually acknowledge that. Now,
Right.
as far as, we talking about level of competition and the opponent, and is this the fight we really want to see? We all know that Crawford has been calling out Canelo, and we know that Canelo's been hiding behind his burrito. So, you know what I'm saying? As my man James Tony,
Shout out
lights
to
out,
James Tony.
put it.
Lights out.
You know what I'm saying? And recently after Canelo's fight with what's my man about
Berlanga. Edgar
Berlanga.
Berlanga. Yeah.
But yeah, I was brother Berlanga. Yeah, I mean, after his fight with Berlanga, you know what I'm saying?
Rabanga.
Berlanga. After he fought Berlanga and banged up
Yeah.
Berlanga for 12 rounds, then he went and turned around and he wanted his lick back with Bivol, with Bivol.
Right.
And Bivol turned around and said, "Bro, you had your chance, man. I wanted that fight. You was BSing," which kind of leaves Canelo in a funny space right now because Bivol got his hands full with better
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 BF.
beef. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean better BF. He has his hands full with better BF right now.
Right.
So that's interesting. He told him he's busy. Basically, he basically told Canelo he's busy, which leaves the fight open. However, Crawford, tired of hearing no and tired of seeing, this man hiding behind that burrito, he decided, you know what, I'm gonna just keep it moving. I'm gonna keep chasing my greatness, and let's get this Fundora on the way. And this right here opens up, something else. We'll see what's next.
Still on the Terrence Crawford news, he recently, because Teofimo Lopez, this dude be talking. He's looking for a big fight. He's talking like he want a
Shout
big
out to
fight.
Teofimo Lopez. Shout out to Teofimo Lopez. I said it. Go ahead.
Shout out to Teofimo. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully you ain't just talking like you normally do. I'm keeping it real. Like you be
Because
talking like
one of
you
the
want to fight,
bananas
but
is
then
coming.
quick to duck
One
the
of the
fight.
monkeys is coming. One of the monkeys is coming, T.O. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
One of the
Yeah.
monkeys is coming. And there's some orangutans in that bunch. That's all I'm gonna say. There's some
You have to come into the
orangutans
jungle.
in that bunch,
Yeah, you
homeboy.
have to come into the jungle and see one of these monkeys that you talking about.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
you
saying?
got to see one of
But
these monkeys, homeboy. But go
but
ahead.
Terrence Crawford called his bluff, right? Now I don't know if you remember. Shout out to I don't know if I should shout out this other boxing network. I got respect for him, but this is I don't want to claim like I got this is like I pointed this out. You know what I'm saying? But I thought it was an interesting point. So shout out to Dante's Boxing Nation, for giving this perspective, which I agree with. Which
We're gonna edit that out when you say it. It's gonna be like shout out to blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
nah. We gotta show love
Nah,
and give credit where it's
I'm
due.
joking.
You
I'm
know what I'm
joking. Peace to
saying?
Dante.
Gotta show
Peace to
love and
Dante
give credit.
Boxing
Yeah,
Nation.
man. He's the OG in this game, man. Shout out to Dante's Boxing Nation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But he pointed out the fact that when Canelo was looking for his fight against Floyd Mayweather, and Floyd, everybody was saying Floyd was ducking him and this, that, and the third. And Floyd said, "Listen, if you want to fight me, go beat Austin Trout. Go fight Austin Trout," which he did, and he won. He beat Austin Trout, and then he got his fight with Floyd, right? So Terrence Crawford is doing something similar, with Teofimo Lopez. He's saying, well, if you really want the fight, I'll give you the fight. If you go up to 154 and you beat Madrimov. So let's see how bad Teofimo really is and how bad they really want this fight, because Terrence Crawford, and I think he's a man of his word. He's giving you the opportunity to say, if you want to fight me, go up to 154, beat Madrimov. But all of that you talking, because, you know, Teofimo had a lot to say about his performance against Madrimov. So you go up to 154 and beat Madrimov, then you can fight me. And I respect it. I respect it. And I'm going to say this. Yeah. I'll give Teofimo Lopez credit for even attempting it. If you go up to 154 and fight Madrimov, even if you lose, I'll give you a lot of respect for even attempting it, because that at least showed me that you really want that fight.
Absolutely. That
at least showed me that you really want that fight.
That's how you chase greatness. Because you showing me you chasing greatness.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You showing me that you chasing greatness right there. So, yeah, absolutely.
But I believe another cherry pick is on the way.
We've been seeing Terrence Crawford going. We've been seeing him calling out Canelo. However, we also have to keep in mind Terrence Crawford is still the man to beat. Like, he's still the guy to beat.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So
absolutely.
in the midst of him calling Canelo out, you know, I'm expecting everybody to be gunning for Crawford.
And speaking of pound for pound greatness and the best in the sport and all this and that, man, Undisputed drops tomorrow on all, you know what I'm saying, gaming consoles and all of that. If you got the early access, you know, did the pre-order like I did, you know what I'm saying? So, one, I will be dropping a review for the game later on in the week once I really get a good feel for it and get to see what the game is, you know what I mean, what it's really hitting for. And then two, y'all want all the smoke, man. Anybody out there that think they can see me in these boxing games, including you, Mr. Jay Black, talking all this and that. Like, I just want to put it out there for the public. I want all the smoke and Undisputed. I'm gonna be online.
Last time we fought in the game,
catching cools, man. Won? Yeah.
Since you brought, I wasn't gonna say nothing. I was over there being quiet.
What you mean?
Have all of that.
I don't remember what you talk about. All right, who? But listen, man. All of that.
I know. I asked the question. You about to ask me a question, but I'm asking you a question. You can't answer the question with a question. My question is simple. The last time we went against each other, who won?
Okay, from your recollection of it, is you won. I don't remember that, man. I remember running through you like a few times.
He don't even remember.
Yo, fam, how many? Yo, how many?
Beat the memory out of this boy.
Go ahead, how many? Listen, man. On the win-loss column, man, I'm up. That's a fact. I'm up. I was putting the beats on you, bro. Huh?
Listen. The last 2 times we played, I rocked you.
Man, that's cat, man. I don't know about no last 2, man. That's crazy.
The last 2
I don't
times,
lose 2 in a row, man, on fight night. That's crazy, man. I don't know about all that, man.
And you refused to play the 3rd time.
Yo, fam, I know I'm up. If you beat me twice, I'm up.
If I'd have won the 3rd time, we would have been even. I ain't gonna
Nah, come on, man. I know I'm up more than that, man. That's crazy. But listen, man, on to the next topic.
We played 3 times the first time. We played
and I beat you 3 straight, huh?
And you did. You beat me all. I didn't win that time. I didn't get a win that day.
That day. All right. So you basically had to go home and, you know what I mean?
Came back.
Figure out, strategize. Huh?
Nah. The last fight we had, I realized what you was doing. So in the last fight, it was like you won all 3. The last one, I was like, yo, I see what this motherfucker's doing right now.
Yo, I ain't no cheeser. I ain't no spammer. I ain't none of that.
I didn't say you was a spammer. Nah, it was a strategy. I adjusted. Right. I did a Floyd Mayweather. I adjusted. I'm not saying you wasn't doing no button jamming. No, you had a strategy. I'm not even gonna say your strategy, but you know the strategy you had. And I peeked the strategy. I said, oh, okay. Because I was knocking you down early. You know what I mean? I was chipping you early, but I said, oh, I see what he's doing. Okay, I can play this too. I can play this game too. I can slow it down. I can pace myself with you. You know what I mean? But we could be all night on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's move along. But yes, Undisputed does come out tomorrow. You know what I mean? And now I'm going to have to hop in there. I was going to say nothing, but you said even me. So I'm like, oh,
anybody.
Okay.
Listen, anybody can get how my man, bro, was that Broner? Anybody can get it, man. The can man.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? The
yeah,
can
yeah,
man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's how
yeah.
that's how it's
He gonna
going.
end up and where Broner career at now in the can. You know what I mean? Just remember
With
that.
that tooth.
You know what I'm saying?
yo, yo, shout out to
Oh
Adrian Broner
man.
though. Yo, all right,
Shout out to
cool.
Broner, man. We love you, Broner.
Now let's get on to the main topic of discussion, man. And we ain't got a lot of
Mm-hmm.
time to really get into this, but I know this is a topic that could drag on, man. So I'm gonna let you speak your piece, all right? But first, let me remind people, please jab that like button, uppercut that subscribe button, lead hook that share button, throw a combination at the notification bell so you can stay updated when we drop new content. Follow us on all forms of social media, on Twitter at the Parry 101, Instagram at the Parry 101, and TikTok at the Parry 101. And show us some love, man. And please hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button. Oh man, who's that? Eh? All right, whatever. Yo, all right. So let me just preface the topic by saying this. Um, Devin Haney recently, I guess he filed a lawsuit, and we all knew it was coming because we remember Bill was talking about it from early after the fight that this is something they was planning on doing, taking him to court. So they suing Ryan Garcia for battery. It's one of the things in the lawsuit. Breach of contract, amongst other things, as well as suing Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions. They're requesting to see the books. According to the lawsuit, Devin Haney and Devin Haney Promotions was due to receive 47% of the revenue from the entire event. Is the way it's kind of put in a lawsuit, not just the pay-per-view, but from the event. So I'm guessing from merchandise and this, that, and the third, that they feel they didn't receive all their bread. And let's keep it real. This ain't the first time De La Hoya and, Oscar, and Golden Boy Promotions been sued. They damn near been sued by everybody, including Bernard Hopkins, which is funny.
Every promoter is
No.
damn near sued.
No, I'm speaking about Golden
You
Boy
know,
though. I'm just saying. I
a
just
lot
think
of
it's
their
funny
fighters.
that even Bernard Hopkins sued him. You know what I'm saying? He's part owner of the company. You know what I mean?
Well, Bernard, it's business. Bernard said, like, it's business. I need to get mine.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's how he got his piece of the company. That was part of
Nah, I don't think
the
that's how he got his piece of the company. Him and
yeah
Bernard,
yeah.
nah. When he put the company together, we got to look into that. So we're gonna
Remember
look into
Shane
that.
Mosley was
We're
a
gonna,
partner at one point too. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. He was an officer. They wasn't calling him a partner because it was Barrera, Mosley,
Mm.
and and Hopkins.
Right.
Because there
But
was a joke
oh,
about it being all the people that beat De La Hoya with the exception of Barrera. What happened?
my fault. Coming in disturbing. Anyway, back to this lawsuit. So he's suing Ryan Garcia, Oscar De La Hoya, and Golden Boy Promotions. Now the consensus, the overall consensus across the boxing world, both the media, president, past fighters, just fans on social media, it seemed the overwhelming consensus is that this is a weak, soft move. Um, a lot of people have the opinion he need to go get it back in blood, which I can agree with that point. Uh, but a lot of people are like he seemed to be losing stock. His name seemed to be dropping fast, becoming somewhat unfavorable in the boxing world due to this act of suing Ryan
Becoming
Garcia.
unsavory. His
Yeah,
name is
that's the better
becoming
word. Thank you.
unsavory.
Yeah, a lot of people are be turning sour on Devin Haney, and let's keep it real. A lot of people already wasn't Bill and Devin didn't have too many fans to begin with, but now people who probably was even supporting them are no longer supporting them because they feel away about this
Yeah,
lawsuit. Um,
exactly.
but I'll let you start. I'll let you lead, and you give your
Okay.
your take and your perspective on this lawsuit, how you feel about it, and I guess the overall question is this a soft move? Is this weak or soft or
Well,
you know what I mean?
I'm gonna attack that right there from the beginning. The
Good.
whole idea of it, whether it's soft or not. And I'm gonna say, when we talking about soft, of course, this is relative, man. Now this is relative. You understand what I'm saying? So what we're talking about and what like and as far as what part of the lawsuit are they saying is soft? Is it the battery part, which I'm gonna assume. I'm gonna jump on a limb and assume that the soft part is the battery part because that's the in blood part. That's the part where if you're telling someone to get it back, get it in blood. You can't be talking about Oscar De La Hoya and saying to get it back in blood from Oscar De La Hoya because Oscar didn't take it in blood. You know what I'm saying? And that's more of the nature of a promoter and the promoted. Like we see that a lot in boxing with lawsuits. We see lawsuits, we see restraining orders, you know what I'm saying, just to prevent other promoters from coming around your fighters. Like we see all types of stuff like this in boxing. So in that aspect, if anyone is saying he's soft for suing, then that's a little bit ridiculous. But what I'm thinking though, and what I'm feeling is they're specifying the fact that you're suing another fighter who got in the ring with you and fought you, and the language of what you're using and what you're actually suing them of. Like you're suing them for battery. You sound like a beat up wife right now, yo. Like a battery fan. Like I'm just seeing pictures. Like, oh, like what is he going to court with the mugshot of himself after the fight? Like, yeah, this is how bad I got lumped up because he was on that juice. You see my eye. You see I couldn't open my eye for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like is this the type of evidence he's bringing forth with his battery? Like he's talking about battery. So you're suing for? Is there a criminal? Is he trying to bring criminal charges too? Because battery, like you suing for battery, you opening up a door for criminal charges now. So now we gotta watch boxers. They might start getting charged with criminal offenses now, depending on how this plays out. Which I personally I'll get into. Actually, I'll tell you that later. I think it's gonna play out, but this is a little bit. It's humorous to me that you have a fighter actually suing a fight. Like we fight in the ring. We go in there and batter each other in the ring. And I'm going to sue you for battery because you battered the shit out of me. And I'm going to say it's because you had a performance enhancing drug that you used that gave you the ability to batter me to the degree that I need to sue you for it now. Because this wasn't a normal beating. This is battery. You know what I'm saying? And I think that for the sake of boxing, it'll be dangerous. It'll be dangerous if something like that were to ever go through. If a suit against a fighter were to ever go through and the fighter loses a suit for battery, for fighting another fighter in the ring, I think the the floodgates will open that can possibly destroy the sport personally. We're talking about rules being changed. We might see boxing. It might be like that episode of the Twilight Zone where we got to see robots box now because more people are suing. I got battered in the ring. Like this is the type of effect that I can't see no positive effect on that. And I think a lot of boxers understand this. Like, yo, if he's successful for suing him for battery, yo, like now what happens with a low blow? Now what happens with too many elbows or with a headbutt? Which all of these are dangerous. A rabbit punch can end your career. A headbutt can end you. Like these can end your career. But let's be 100 though. This is part of the sport though. This is really part of the sport. Like we can bullshit all we want, you know, but this is part of the sport. People get low bridged in basketball, end up on a stretcher. This is part of the sport. So um the lawsuit, that's now as far as a man, I don't know how you comfortably call yourself a man suing another man for batter and both of y'all was fighting. Like you fought this man. And this in the lawsuit is batter. Like, yo, me and you fought. I didn't like the result. So you battered me, homeboy. Like, nah, man. Like, nah. Now, if you're one to believe that these PEDs gave Garcia the power, and I'm gonna end it, let you get to your point, because I actually was a little bit long with this. But if you believe that gave him the power to out batter somebody, to out batter you, like if you in the belief of that, then I understand why someone might say, yes, I feel like, he is a legitimate lawsuit. If you really believe that what he took gave him the ability to batter that man, to assault that man. That's and when you believe what he took gave him the ability to assault this man and to the point of battery. I'm sorry. He assaulted the man to the point of battery. Then I understand anyone saying that, yes, this lawsuit is legit.
Well, I think your perspective is the popular one. Um, Now, anybody that been watching this show normally I'm normally the oddball out the group. You know what I'm saying? I'm normally the one that's on the other side of the most popular opinion, and I'm okay with that because I'm always gonna be me and call it how I see it. Now, it's a couple things you said, but before I even address some of the points you made, I will say, admittedly, I will admit that the battery thing kind of threw me off, right? However, I do understand that when it comes to lawsuits, lawyers put the jargon and put these things together, right? I don't think he walked into his lawyer's office and said, "This man battered me." he might have he might have walked into his lawyer's office and said, "Look, what kind of case can we bring?" And the lawyer looked at the video and said, "This man battered you." let's put that in the lawsuit that we can get some money for battery, right? So I'm not gonna put that on Devin. All right, that's one. Um, PEDs, they're called performance enhancing drugs. Now we could say now the popular opinion is this. I've seen this all over social media. Somebody said this to me today. Shout out to the God True. Um, yo, he would have lost either way. That Ryan Garcia, he can't stop the left hook. He probably would have lost either way. Now the thing about
Yeah.
PEDs or performance enhancing drugs, performance enhancing drugs, is that they enhance your performance. Kind of like some of you old dudes over 50 that got to take them blue chews. You know what I'm saying? You enhance your performance because you can't perform up to the standard in which you feel you could catch wreck. You understand what I'm saying? So he took performance enhancing drugs to enhance his performance. But the sad part is we don't know if he would have beat him either way because we didn't have the opportunity to see two clean fighters in the ring. So it's easy to say, very, very easy to say that he would have lost either way. But if you on performance enhancing drugs meant to enhance your performance, we won't know until they get into the ring and throw down again. Now, the lawsuit, the way I look at it, and I will say I was on the other side of the conversation at the beginning. But when I started listening to everybody's narrative or everybody's opinion and take on this lawsuit, I try to look at it from another lens because, you know, as somebody, I'm a self-admitted Devin Haney fan, and if you've been watching our channel, you know I'm a fan. I'm not biased. I am a fan. I'm a fan of Terrence Crawford, like I'm a fan of Bam Rodriguez and a few other fighters, David Benavidez. I'm fans of these guys. These are some of my favorite fighters. Devin Haney happens to be one of my favorite fighters. So some people may think, well, you being biased and you know your opinion is kind of skewed towards the fighter that you like. No, I was originally on the other side of the conversation. But when I look at the total narrative about Devin Haney across the board, not just with the lawsuit, but just how people viewed him throughout his career, or should I say, rather, since he started winning them belts and went undisputed and things started really happening, you know, the trajectory of his career started to go in a different direction. And not to mention, you know, I guess people's opinions of Bill and how he goes about dealing and handling Devin's career and speaking up and this, that, and the third. People have their opinions of him, and I realize that when people hate or dislike a particular fighter, it doesn't matter what they do, right? In my opinion, he beat Lomachenko. Oh, he didn't really beat Lomachenko. He got a gift. You know, he fought Regis Prograis, or Prograis was a bum. Like, so it don't matter what this young man do. People are going to have a sour opinion of him. So, but I do remember this, and this is where I'm going. Now I'm going to get to the lawsuit thing. When Devin Haney got busted with the pistol in his car, right? Allegedly. Right? I remember the narrative was, yo, this kid is dumb. You're not a street kid. You're a businessman. You're a multi-millionaire. Conduct yourself in a certain kind of way. You're not a street kid. And that's a fair assessment, and I think an accurate assessment of what Devin Haney is at this point in his life and, you know, who he is. So when he files this lawsuit, everybody's like, well, this is a soft move. This is weak. Go get it back in blood and this, that, and the third. And hold up. He's a businessman. And who's to say just because you put a lawsuit on somebody don't mean you can't fight them later on down the line. He filed a lawsuit. A lawsuit against somebody who cheated, used performance enhancing drugs, and I guess like the way the lawyer put it, battered him. But most importantly, I'm just keeping it real. But most importantly, it was a breach of contract, right? Not to mention, it's things that he admitted himself. He came into the ring. Oh, he didn't try to make weight. He deliberately came in overweight, which is a breach of contract. So if you deliberately doing other things to cheat, why wouldn't I believe you deliberately came in that ring on performance enhancing drugs to cheat me out of A, having a fair fight, B, out of giving the fans something that they deserve, which is a fair fight between two clean fighters, right? And three, the opportunity to really accept my loss like a man if you beat me fair and square. So I don't think it's a soft move more so than it's a business move. And there, you know, you could point to many different things throughout, you know, different areas of business where, you know, the masses may disagree with that, or why he's suing him, or why she's suing her, or this, that, and the third. End of the day is business. Devin Haney's a businessman. Ryan Garcia did cheat. And I'm going to address some of the points you make. I'm going to let you go ahead and speak because I'm going to wrap this up. But I do got some things to say in regards to some of the points you made. But that's where I'm at with it, man. I don't think it's a soft move more so than it's a business move, man.
All right. When you say that, I'm trying to, and I'm trying to figure out what part. So just to be clear, him suing him for batter, that part. We're gonna separate the other lawsuits from the batter right now, because the other lawsuits is Oscar and is
Right.
Oscar.
Oscar De La Hoya.
So
Mhm.
so
It's not just battery; it's
we're
breach of
just
contract too. But go ahead.
we're gonna talk about the battery right
Battery.
now. We're gonna talk about the battery right now.
All right. Go ahead. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, because breach of contract, that's regular. That's a regular lawsuit for anybody who breaches contracts. Um they have now as far as the weight, the only part that he could say was the breach of contract was if he's saying that he used this PED. Now, if we're talking about the battery part, and we're saying that this part is what makes the whole situation soft, to me, as a man, that's one thing. Morally, as a man, to a man, that's that's chunk. That's some punk shit to me. Pardon me. That's some that is what would be under the umbrella of softness, of being showing soft tendencies and actions. You know, we got a lot of names for that type of stuff. But bottom line is it's some sucker. It's some sucker shit. That's what it is. That's some sucker shit. To be just straight up. My
All right.
morals, where I'm from, where I understand. However, um, business aspect, the man being a businessman, yes, he's a businessman. He's also a fighter. He's also a gladiator. He is a businessman. Um, and certain things are his business, and certain things aren't his business. In certain manners, he needs to conduct himself in a business manner. But he's not. All of his business is not conducted in with papers and pens. You know what I'm saying? A lot of his business is actually conducted, you know, assault and battery. Like his business is actually the assault
Assault
and battery
battery.
business.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean
Fair.
that's
Fair.
a
Yep.
lot of his business is actually handled in that form of fashion.
Right.
So I can see a lot of people feeling like, yo, that's soft, and I can see that where you see the contradiction. I only see the contradiction if you're stressing the fact that you're not a street kid and now you're not following street morals or street codes. Like if that's the argument, I don't. You can't argue both. You can't have it both ways. The kid is either following these morals or he's not from that cloth, so he doesn't have to move in that cloth. You understand in the with the rules and regulations that cloth moves in. So him not being a street kid, and we're gonna just say he's already been stamped and labeled not a street kid, we're not gonna hold him to street standards and morals. But we're still gonna hold him to man standards. We're still gonna hold him to warrior and gladiator standards because he is, regardless of who told him to do the batter and who idea it was, he's still a gladiator. He's still a warrior. These are things that he actually is. you know. And I think that a warrior and a gladiator seeing another fellow warrior and a gladiator moving in a manner like that, it's only natural for them to respond with that sort. Me personally. Now, a lot of people are just snowballing that and just echoing that and just repeating it. Yeah, that's soft. That's some punk shit. They don't, but they cotton candy. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. But I'm gonna say morally, like I stressed before, not morally, the impact. Now let's look at what he's saying. So, breach of contract. Where was the breach? Was the breach of contract? Was the breach of contract with the Was the breach of contract with? Pardon me, police. They always spook me a little bit when they ride by. I'm always on edge when I see them. But is the breach of contract the weight issue because you took the money? You took the money already. So the breach of contract, you already agreed to continue with the fight. So you can't cry about the weight. To me, and I'm glad that Initially, he didn't. Initially, he didn't cry about the weight. He didn't cry about the weight until Garcia started bragging about the weight issue. Now, I mean, started throwing it in his face. But initially, he did the warrior way about it. He went the warrior route. Yeah, I knew what I got into. I knew he came and was coming in weighing that much. I had the opportunity to say, nah, this ain't right. We ain't doing this. He had the opportunity to do that and say that. So on that aspect, he shut up. You know what I mean? No disrespect. Your lawyer needs to shut up. How about that? Because he's the one who put the battery. He's the one who put the battery to say you got battered. You know what I'm saying? In your back. He put the battery to claim you got battered in your back.
All right, let me just address a couple things. First of all, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I see my man Barif, man DH. I know who you are. I see you out there. Appreciate you checking in. Phoenix. Let me just read a couple comments. He says, yeah, Haney is full of sugar honey iced tea. Right? We're trying to keep it clean. But on the other hand, Ryan Garcia needs to learn to keep his mouth shut because he gets himself in trouble. Osterine wasn't why Ryan beat Haney like a drum. Then he goes on to say, Devin Haney doesn't know how to block the left hook. This is why he lost. Ryan didn't have enough Osterine to help anything. Then he says, now Reese's Prograde needs to sue Devin Haney for cheating too. Okay, now let me just address a couple things. One, I just think that
who's this right here? Who's this right here?
Phoenix. Right? He says Haney is full of ish, but on the other hand, Ryan Garcia needs to learn to keep his mouth shut. Blah blah blah. Osterine wasn't the reason why he beat Haney like a drum. How do you know that? How do you know when he started taking the Osterine? It is a performance-enhancing drug. So how do you know that? See, people just be talking, right? People just be talking because they don't like a particular fighter. And you can believe what you want to believe. Now, some may say he might have got caught with that left hook anyway. But again, some people may say, well, Barry Bonds never would have hit all them home runs without them steroids. We don't know.
I'm saying Barry Bonds changed hat sizes, though, man.
Wait, hold up, bro.
But go ahead.
Listen, it's a performance-enhancing drug. Then he said he didn't have enough Osterine to help anything. Not blocking the left hook is the reason why he lost. Now, if Ryan Garcia was clean, that's a fair point. But he wasn't. He had performance-enhancing drug. What part of performance-enhancing drug don't you understand? And I want to get to his last comment.
Okay.
Hold on.
What
let me get to
the last. I was
going
to address that, but I stopped. But when you said what you had to address, I ain't say nothing. But I wanted to address that part, the performance enhancing part. What part of the performance does it enhance? Because all PEDs, just because they call the shit a PED, doesn't mean it's gonna make you do something better at that.
Okay, is a steroid a performance enhancing drug?
No, it's not gonna make you box better.
No, I know. I didn't specify which sport. Is it a performance enhancing drug? Yes.
Does it make you live like? Does it make you perform better in a way? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't really know what
it is. Yes, it is.
So I know it makes you look better. I don't know how it makes you perform.
It is. Osterine, to my knowledge, helps with stamina, recovery, speed, and strength. It's a performance enhancer. It is. It's a performance enhancing drug.
So then what the man said then, real quick, we gotta put a pause on that. What the man said then could be legit. The man Phoenix, right, just said he didn't have enough in his system, or I ain't specify. He just said he didn't take enough or have enough for it to be the effect. That could be a legitimate argument, because now to say that it made him perform in the ring better, and let's just saying that it made him train better, and let's just saying that it made him train better, and because he was able to train better, it made him perform better in the ring.
Let's be clear.
You're gonna have to have a certain level of something to make you better at to be enhanced in that. You can't be weaned off by the time you fight and still be having the effect of the shit.
No, that's wrong. That's completely inaccurate. Because if you are taking cycles of steroids, hold on, let me finish. Hold on.
I know
if you're taking if you take it, I know you do.
I know I drugs work, man. He
If
said
you,
that like I was from Venus and shit. I'm just saying, I know the
if you,
science. I know how drugs work.
if you are taking a cycle of steroids, let's say, right? Let's say you are an MMA fighter and you're taking cycles of steroids during your training. Yes, you can train harder. You can train longer. You can your body, it becomes more durable. You don't go into the fight with the aches and the pains and the injuries that come along with any combat sport just in training. You come in there bigger, stronger, faster. It allows you to train like that, right? Now, so hold on,
The
hold on,
speed
hold on,
part of
hold on.
fact. It
Wait,
actually makes you
wait.
faster. It actually makes you faster.
I'm going off what it said. I don't know. I never took the drug. I don't know. I'm just going off what it said. There's a reason why it's banned. There's a reason why you can't have any of it in your system at all. Any of it. Why? Because there's no reason for you to be taking it. Period. If you're a combat fighter, there's no reason for you to be taking Ostarine. You shouldn't have
I'm
it in
not
your system at
defending
all.
Ostarine right now.
Hold on.
I'm not
So,
defending Ostarine.
but I'm not
We're
even
not
speaking
listening to
to.
that.
I'm not even speaking to uh the performance enhancing part more so than the man is speculating that he didn't have enough in his system because he got caught with traces of it in his system when you shouldn't have it in your system at all. Shows that you've been using it. You've been using it to enhance your performance during training. So to say it had no
Nah, we getting
effects in the ring
speculative.
is no, it's just what it is. You're not supposed to have it in your system,
No, no, no,
period.
no. I'm not saying you wrong with that part. With the it is what it is, him having it in the system and that being wrong. I'm saying that it becomes speculative how much he actually was taking now because they can only go off of how much they found. See, this
Right.
is where this lawsuit is going to get tricky and slippery because a lot of things are going to have to actually be proven because intention now is going to have to be proven. You're going to have to prove Ryan's intent, you know what I'm saying, with these accusations that you're making and full knowledge of of what he was doing. Now it's going to have to be proven. Like you're going to have to prove these things.
I just want to address this last
And
comment
these
from
aren't easy
Phoenix.
things to prove.
There's a comment. Phoenix. He says, "Now Regis Prograde needs to sue Devin
Finish.
Haney
Why
for
you ain't just
cheating
hop in?
too."
Didn't we leave the link? Like you jumped
We
like
did it,
you
yo.
just
We
hopped
yo, we
in.
got the hold on. I'm gonna put it back in. Let me listen, man. I don't know who you are, Phoenix, man, but feel free to jump in this conversation. And pardon me for not knowing who you is. I probably actually know you, but I'm not familiar with the name. But I'm gonna put back in the chat. Feel free to click that link and come on and talk about it. Come on here and talk about it. We got a few minutes left before
But
we got to
what was
close
Phoenix
shop.
saying now? Go ahead. Go ahead.
He
What
was
was
saying
Phoenix
Reese's
saying?
Prograde needs to sue Devin Haney for cheating too. Now this is a great talking point for me, right? Because I want to talk about this speaks to the level of hatred that Devin Haney has in the fight world, right? Remember when Devin Haney whooped his ass? Devin
Oh
Haney
man.
whooped his ass, and he had high praises for Devin. The
Nah, he
moment this
humbled the
happened,
shit out that boy. That was a
yeah,
serious. The Ruger got humbled for real.
yeah. So but then he
Ain't no
came
more
out
Ruger,
and
just Ru.
then he yeah. So then he came out right after the whole fiasco with Ryan Garcia and Devin. Even after he got caught, it was like, well, it wasn't the steroids that right? He was actually gloating, right? And start talking more, crap about Devin. Now here's the irony of the whole thing. He has a fight coming up with pardon me, I forgot my man's name, but he got a fight coming up at the end of the month. Get somebody, I can't remember my man. I don't know why it's escaping me right now who he's fighting. Um, and he was just online talking that him and his opponent signed up for Vada, and Vada only tested him one time during training camp, while he was tested multiple times to fight Devin Haney. And he's concerned that his opponent is not getting tested enough because he's concerned about people using performance enhancing drugs. Now, if the Ostarine and the performance enhancing drugs that Ryan took didn't really determine the outcome of the fight, what the hell are you concerned about? Right? Why all of a sudden now you so concerned about people cheating and using performance enhancing drugs, but when it came to Devin, When it came to Devin, it didn't matter. Not to mention, if we being honest, when they talk about that Devin Haney came in, that he rehydrated up to like 15, 20 pounds bigger than homeboy, that's not true. It was only like 9 pounds in difference because my man rehydrated up to like 156 pounds. That being Reese's program. So it just goes to show people will talk and walk and go with any narrative when they don't like somebody, even if it goes against the actual logic of what it is. You so concerned about people using performance enhancing drugs that you complaining that you're not being tested enough, so therefore your opponent must not be tested enough, and you worried about now what's going to happen. So I just find that weird and hypocritical for him to say what he said about Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, and now all of a sudden now he's singing a different tune when it comes to testing.
Okay. Do you remember when? Because I want to get into the thick of this. You remember when De La Hoya fought Mosley the second time, right?
Yeah.
After the fight, what did De La Hoya say? He said he's gonna do an investigation on what happened. Now,
right.
Regardless if you think De La Hoya won the fight or not, it's fair to say that was a very close fight. A lot of people thought De La Hoya won that fight, or should have gotten the decision, I should say. A lot of people feel like De La Hoya should have gotten that decision, but he didn't. But when De La Hoya opened his mouth and said he was putting together an investigation into the scoring, even the people who thought he won turned their back on him for that. Like, nah, you bugging, yo. Now you sound like a bi. Bi. You know what I'm saying? Now you sound like a bitch. You heard? Straight up, stone cold.
I don't think it was because of that, man. Them fishnets might have. Nah, never mind. Go ahead.
This was way before the fishnets, man. You know what I mean?
That's way before. That's way before we saw the fishnets. You know what I'm saying?
That was way before we knew that there was fishnet action going on. Before we knew something was fishy, but we didn't know about the fishnets.
The fishnets.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't know about the fishnet, but we never liked the boy. Let's be honest.
Right. Nah, it's true.
We never liked the boy. You know what I'm saying? We respect him for his contributions to the sport. In hindsight, in retrospect, but in real time, even in now time, it's not like he's really liked. We don't really like him. We can say that, right? It's fair enough to say that. I can speak for us and say that, right?
Yeah,
in this particular case. Okay. Yes, sir. Yeah, we don't really actually like him, though, to be honest with you.
Nah.
Before we knew about
and get out of here. And get out of here with them clapback Thursdays. That sound AO, bro. You over there. That sound crazy.
Who said clapback Thursday?
That's what your man De La Hoya be doing. He do his clapback Thursdays.
Oh, clapback Thursday. You know, De La Hoya, he takes some of that Yezza Bobber. You know, he take a line of that Yezza Bobber, and then, you know, it's whatever, you know. What's going on, man? Yeah, man. He like the guy from the Dirk Diggler movie. You know what I mean? You go to his crib, you come out with the robe on and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yo, let me just remind everybody to please jab that like button, uppercut that subscribe button, go ahead and lead hook that share button, and throw a combination at the notification bell so you can stay updated when we drop new content. We're approaching the finish line. Yo, this debate actually went more.
What do you think is the plus? What do you think is the plus about
with the lawsuit?
About the lawsuit. What is the positive you feel like could come out of a lawsuit? If he sues and is effective, if he effectively wins for the batter, because everything else I'm cool with. I'm cool with you suing De La Hoya because I don't know what happened with that. I don't know if you're crying because you feel like he owes you money that you don't got, that he don't owe you, or if he really did do you dirty. Because De La Hoya looked fishy.
Right.
He looked fishnet fishy.
I'm gonna make this quick, and it is I did want to address some of your points, but we got to close up shop in a few. But I feel like one of the positive, and I don't want to say positive. I'm gonna say potential positive, because you said it doesn't benefit the sport, that it could potentially hurt the sport, and you mentioned things like low blows and headbutts and rabbit punches. That's being a part of the sport, and that is true. But performance enhancing drugs is not a part of the sport. It is a part of the sport in the sense of people do them, but it's not a part of the sport. It shouldn't be a part of the sport. And it's the one thing that I think if you put it on the scale or you were to list things that people want to eliminate from the sport, that will probably be at the top of the list. So I feel like a lawsuit, depending on how severe of the penalty, meaning how much bread Ryan Garcia may have to kick back for doing what he did. And again, I don't know what the strength of this case. I don't know if he's going to win anything. If he wins nothing, then it probably does nothing, right? But let's just say, for argument's sake, let's just say he had to give up his whole purse. Let's just say the judge says, "How much you made for that fight? 50 million? You giving him your whole purse." I think it could potentially make people think twice about using performance enhancing drugs due to the stiffer penalties because getting fined or getting suspended, okay, so I can't train for a year. So I ain't got to beat myself up for a whole year. You know what I'm saying? To get back in the ring. Okay, you fine me, 10% of my purse? All right, cool. It's not really a deterrent for people to not do it. And it may not even do anything on the lower levels of the sport. But let's say like when you up there, when you making that kind of money, and now potentially getting caught using performance enhancing drugs, but no excuse, because it can happen when you took a tainted supplement or what have you. I'm talking about people who, and it's been proven that you took it intentionally, and you get hit for your whole purse. I just made 30 million on this fight, and now you got to give up that whole purse. I'm just saying, but if that was to be the case, I think it can drastically cut, potentially it could drastically cut the amount of people getting caught for using it. So either you're going to get either they're going to get smarter about how they cycle on and off this stuff, or they're going to have to stop it altogether. But that's just my opinion. But I don't know. But that's just something I think potentially could happen.
I would say that you're basing that off of logic that is, I don't want to say emotionally, but it's a feeling. It's how you feel, right? It's something
Right.
that you feel, and so you base that off of how it should be, right? And logically, that makes sense. What you just said, stiffer penalties would make somebody who's rationally, logically thinking, "Yo, I shouldn't do something." However, the problem I think when you start to look at it from that particular standpoint is you're not realizing the actual mentality of a cheater and the person who goes in there. None of them go in there even thinking that they're going to get caught. And the ones that do is just willing to take that risk. You know what
Right.
I mean? Because winning is that important. And I don't think that the penalties will ever outweigh what they feel is the reward and risking it. And in the mind, and when you're looking into the mind and mentality of a cheater in any aspect of life, or a cutthroat or somebody, and I've swam amongst them. I've been amongst the cheaters and the cutthroats. You know what I'm saying? And when you realize that it's a different mentality, the risk, when you can up the risk as much as you want, the reward is always greater in their minds. And this is why these great risks are taken for these rewards that sometimes it seems like it's worth it, sometimes it's not. And this is and I don't believe that in that aspect is going to help. I think that, like I said earlier, is going to hurt. And the reason why I think it's going to hurt, because like you did make a great point. All Although I'm gonna say they're all a part of boxing, although they all none of them should be. But performance enhancing drugs is another animal. That's another ballpark. One is little leagues, the other one is outright major league based. You know what I'm saying? So we're not gonna act like it's the same. I'm not gonna act like it's the same. But you have to understand that this opens up a floodgate, because we're talking about something completely unprecedented. That now there's so many people who are going to go look back. There's so many Kermit Citrons who sitting home right now who they broke, yo. They in the boxing gym right now. telling some upcoming fighter about their glory that they had. You know what I mean? Why they training them right now, but they don't have the glory they felt like they should have had. And it's gonna open up floodgates to say, you know what, Margarita did cheat me, yo, and I deserve money from the promoter because the promoter didn't make sure I was safe. And then so many people now become exposed to this type of precedents you will be setting. That this would be dangerous. In my personal opinion, it's beyond just whether it's some sucker shit. I think honestly, there's way more. If I'm gonna break down probabilities, because I don't know. I'm just looking at probabilities. There's way more probabilities that it hurts the sport and it hurts the future of how the sport is actually done, as opposed to it creates a stronger regulation that becomes effective.
I mean, I hear you on that point. I guess it's a fair point, but I'm still gonna say, nah, get out of here with that. Nah, I'm joking. I'm joking. Yo, we gotta wrap up, man. Yo, Che Black, man, you got any parting words before we get up out of here?
Yeah, I do have some parting words. Within the next couple episodes, I'll probably have gotten undisputed as well. I probably will have went up against Bomani in that. So expect my victory. I just want y'all to know, like, bet on me. You know what I mean? I want to take a poll. We're gonna take a poll. Who y'all think before we go into this is gonna win? Because
listen, man,
this dude, man.
All I'm gonna say is
the conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Yeah. Man. Yo, I appreciate everybody tuning in, man, to this episode.
Appreciate you, Phoenix, for your feedback.
Yeah, seriously, Phoenix, definitely
else,
appreciate you, my man.
Into the chat.
Shout out my man Dwight. Who else was there? My man Hua was in there. Shout out to Wild to Dome TV, Peace to the God, Rakeem Shabazz, and everybody else who probably didn't leave a comment but tuned in. Please jab that like button and uppercut that subscribe button, lead hook that share button, drop a comment in the comment section, and throw a combination of notification bells so you can stay updated when we drop new content. This is the Parry, where we don't pull and duck no punches. I am your host, Bomani UFG.
And I am the pragmatic Che Blidak.
This is the Parry. Until next time, you know what it is. We'll catch y'all on the rebound. We up out of here. Peace.
Actually, now we're gonna show you how to catch the jab. Actually, in boxing, it's called parrying.
Like pull the fight. Like I'm not the fight.